Hi, everybody. We're back with your Monday Night Football doubleheader. Monday Night Football, we got both picks for you. This is for Monday, the September 29th. Yeah, just one more day of September here. And we've been pretty hot. Let's stay hot here. If you haven't done so, make sure you get in on our free $60 account. Check us out for free. If you're a new customer, docsports.com/ICCT. If you're an existing user, we got something for you too. Hot 10 is this week's 10% off code. Use that to get in on our week pass. For football, it's just $99, so it ends up being $89 for each one of us. So less than $180, you get both of our plays, which I'll have 7 or 8 this week. IC will have 6 or 7, so you get a bunch of plays for that. And we've both been hot. IC's on an 8-3-1 run the last 2 weeks. My best bets, top plays, 5 to 8 units are 5-1 the last 2 weeks. So let's get in and keep that winners going. All right, let's kick you off. Jets and the Dolphins. Dolphins have been just bad. This could be the last game for McDaniels if he doesn't, or McDaniels, right? Total is 44.5. Dolphins favored by 3. What do you like here?
Yeah, Mike McDaniel. Yeah, you're right. So I like he was the odds-on favorite to get fired in the beginning of the year, and that turned out to be correct in Vegas, right? He was the odds-on favorite to be the first coach that was about to be fired. Their win total this year was only like 6.5 or 7, and everybody jumped on the over, loving the Dolphins, and the odds makers are right. I'm going to take the Jets plus the 3 here. I think this is a game they probably win outright. Tell me this: how does it feel like culture-wise and direction-wise? I mean, did you see the highlight where you have Coach Glenn here who's high-stepping in the background, Coach Aaron Glenn, and that's a guy that you want to play for. You get excited, you want to play for that guy. I saw a Jets fan on a fan board. He was like, "I know we're losing, but we're having fun. I know we're losing, but we're having a good time losing." And this team they put up 21 points in the fourth quarter against Tampa Bay. The fact that Tyrod Taylor is quarterbacking, I think, makes a big difference. He went 26 for 36 last game, but on 197 yards. This game, I know this team lost to Buffalo 10-30, but that was a game where it's not their fault, because Buffalo, nearly lost to the Ravens, and they started so slow against the Ravens that they started fast the next week. So don't hold that loss against, and it's not like they got destroyed by Buffalo. They lost 10-30. It was a game they were up, down 20-3, but I'm sure the Buffalo coaching staff was like, "Look, we were down big against the Ravens. Let's step up big first half here." So don't hold that loss against them. You have a Jets team that closed out last week well, but didn't start last week well. So I think their loss to the Steelers was impressive, 32-34. Loss to the Bucs, 27-29. They've lost 2 games by a combined 4 points. You have the head-to-head history doesn't matter because you have a brand new coach in Aaron Glenn. Yes, Miami played well against Buffalo, 21-31. Yes, they lost to the Patriots and Colts, who are good teams. But I think the public will only remember the Bills' last game or the Dolphins' last game against the Bills, and they're going to kind of ignore the Jets here. And I like the Jets, man. I think the Jets are a live dog. I like the way they're playing, and I like the fact that Taylor's the quarterback and not the other way around. So and not Justin Fields. So I'm going to back the Jets here. All right, Craig, Cincinnati here on the road against Denver. The Bengals, man, you can tell it just goes to show how valuable Joe Burrow is. They lost 10-48 to Minnesota after beating Jacksonville and Cleveland. But don't sell on them too much is what we tell folks, because if they can somehow, if Browning's not the answer, if somehow figure out who is the answer to, maybe make a trade or do what they need to. They did beat this team 30-24 last year in overtime. Don't forget, this team is 2-1, right? And Denver, and what's surprising in this game coming is that Denver is 1-2. And that's a bit of a surprise, right? They did beat Tennessee, but lost to the Colts and I lost to the Chargers. Craig, does Denver bounce back, or does Cincinnati hang tough after the blowout loss?
Tough losses for both, to be honest. I mean, they had that was a game they probably should have beat the Chargers, and they didn't. So that has to be pretty disappointing. And remember, the Bengals beat them last year. It was kind of like Denver didn't need to win because they had so the Bengals won in overtime. I think it was 30-24. There was lots of points in that one. The only way the Bengals can win is to score. Their defense is bad. Denver, I think, is going to put up big numbers. And sometimes Jake Browning is his worst enemy. But he has to be a gunslinger because the Bengals, they don't have a great run game. They're built on their great receiving core, including their tight ends that are solid. And even Chase Brown on the backfield's good. I think this game has overwritten all over it. I think Denver puts up 30. Sometimes Browning might throw a pick 6, so he could score for both teams sometimes. And I think Jake Browning's a good quarterback. He's a good backup quarterback. Unfortunately, he's not just going to be your backup this year. He's going to have to play for 2/3 of the season, most likely. But I do think the Bengals will put up their fair share. It might even be in cleanup, like when they're down, 17 points and they're putting up a touchdown late. But that means over. I think the Bengals have to scrap the run game as they're down big early. If you had to say who you had to take, I would probably bet the Broncos. But I think the stronger play, just take the over. This Bengals defense is bad. They're bad. They're bad. At the end of the year, they're going to be in the bottom 5 category in every statistic out there. The only chance they have to stop people is turnovers. And they got that against the Jaguars, and that's why they won that game, if you go back and look at it. They didn't get it last week. Not only did they not get it, they gave up 2 touchdowns the opposite way. So I like the over in this matchup for the second Monday Night Football game. Don't forget, if you like all of our content, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you want to get in our absolute top plays, we've been red hot. IC's on an 8-3 run. I'm on a 5-1 run here in football. Get in on it, docsports.com/ICCT to get a free $60, or use that 10% off code. If you're an existing customer, hot 10 saves you 10% off. So have a great night. Good day. We'll see you again next week.